Hello everyone and welcome back to day 15 of Fit Reset. Today, despite what I said yesterday, is our halfway point because this is a 30-day challenge and not, in fact, a 20-day challenge. So I thought that this would be a good idea to team up with Allie once again and show you guys our self-care routine that we do for our bodies. Super important to have a self-care and stretch routine that you do throughout your fitness journey. It's going to help prevent injury and help prevent burnout. And we highly, highly, highly recommend, not even recommend, I'd say require foam rolling be a part of your fitness journey. So we did recommend that you purchase one at the beginning of this challenge. And today is the day that we're gonna show you how you foam roll a lot of essential parts of your body. If you do not have a foam roller, don't worry. Number one, pause this video, go get one. And then come back and click on our alternate day 15 video, which is our stretching routine without the foam roller. But if you do have your foam roller, you are in for a true treat because we are going to be showing you both our foam rolling and our stretch routine. And hopefully you guys stick around and do the whole thing. Don't give up halfway through. And this is just gonna kind of be more of like a chill, like hang out with us while we foam roll and join in on the fun. So, shall we begin? Okay. So, the first part of my body, and by the way guys, this is just suggestions of parts of your body to roll. You are going to decide based on how your body is feeling the order that you want to roll in. But this is just for me today what I'm feeling. And what I'm feeling first is my quads. So I'm gonna show you how we foam roll our quads first.
You're already getting into position. I know it's
Yeah, here we go. So essentially, it looks like a forearm plank, but you don't really have to keep any core engagement here because we're not working on our core, we're working on rolling our quads. So coming into that forearm plank position and just kind of gently, I always recommend doing gently first, just some gentle pressure, rolling up and down on the quads and locating perhaps any spots where you feel adhesions otherwise known as knots, right? And then you locate those spots. And then once you locate a spot, you can hold pressure on it. The recommended time that you hold on a spot is 30 seconds. So a lot of times people will have a foam roller roll, but they don't realize that really to break through your adhesions, you need to be on that spot for at least 30 seconds because you have sensory receptors in your muscles that it takes 30 seconds to send the message to the brain to dissipate those knots and help them relax and contract. So once you find that spot, you hold on it. Did you find a spot, Allie?
Yeah, I always do a general roll out first, feel out the entire muscle, give my muscles a chance to be like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then once I find a couple spots, I'll just go over them a little slower and I'll slow down until eventually I'm kind of stopped on the spot.
My quads are surprisingly not too bad today, but I know when we get to our IT band after this, that's when things are gonna start going downhill.
Yeah. I think you can do your quads both at the same time, but I always end up isolating them just so I can get more pressure. Your hip flexor is not happening either.
Could be related to the quads.
It's always related to the quads.
Allie has very bad quads.
Because I'm quad dominant, so like even when we're working the booty, my body will find a way for me to put the weight into my quads.
But foam rolling helps with any muscular imbalances that you have, which is why it's super important because like Allie was saying, any tightness or anything funky going on in the body, for example, like if you have tight hips, most people who have tight hips, you sit all day, that's going to affect your training because tight hips can equal less neural drive to your glutes during workouts, which means less firing of the glutes muscles. And nowadays we all want to grow our booty, right? Well, if you have tight hips, That's gonna affect your booty workouts, your booty gains.
I think it's important to note too that tightness radiates outward. So if you have tight hip flexors, it's gonna pull on your lower back, and that's gonna put pressure on your lower back, which is going to make your upper body compensate, and everything is like a butterfly effect with the body. So wherever your tightest point in your body is, you should start there and work your way out, because you want to take care of the root of the problem.
Everything is interconnected. I had a couple months ago plantar fasciitis / Achilles tendonitis issue. And I actually found that when I started going to physical therapy to it, it was related to my crappy hips. Imagine that. All right, so I'm gonna start to shift into my ITB, my IT band. This is always the part that is the most tight for me. Your IT band is your iliotibial band. It runs from the psoas, iliopsoas, down to the knee area, which is why it's called iliotibial. And it's probably very tight. I tell you, when I start to roll on it, it's like boom, boom, boom. So let me show you how to do it. So I'm gonna start with my left ITB. So, I'm sorry, my right. Says the wrong thing as I'm doing it. All right, so you're gonna cross your left over your right, and then I'm gonna drop down onto my right forearm. And I am already locating quite a few knots here, but I'm just gonna continue to do this gently.
Your grounded foot is just gonna help you adjust your pressure. The more you put your weight into this foot, the more you're gonna be easing off the roller.
And then I kind of even play around here while I'm getting my ITB. I'll kind of roll to get my hammies a little bit too. Kind of like roll over to the side to get hammies. So I'll kind of hit up my ITB and hammies at the same time. And then you can even get some more quad action too. So you can kind of make like a full 360 motion here. Anything that you didn't get from the quads, you might locate now. But I'm really trying to, so I'm finding a spot right here, and I'm just gonna apply some pressure. And when you are applying pressure on any knots, you gotta use the power of your breath too, because it feels uncomfortable a lot of the times foam rolling. And so if you're tensing your breath and kind of like stressing with your breath, that's gonna keep the knot. You gotta kind of breathe into it. Exhale, feel it soften. Exhale, feel it soften.
Foam rolling will really help you get in tune with your body.
Yeah.
It's really funny when I go to my massage therapist, I can tell them exactly where the knots are. And they'll be like, oh, you're right. And I can tell, like, if they come off it, I'll be like, there's still a little more left.
Ooh. Other side for me.
Still making my way downtown, walking slow.
Let's see what we got here. Ooh, oh mama. Whoa. Okay. I found which side is worse. Yes. Foam rolling is all about those whoa moments.
And the first time you foam roll, it's definitely going to be painful. And every subsequent time, it's going to get easier. Like, we've been foam rolling for a while, and still we end up having this whoa moment.
But don't give up once it starts hurting. Oh, oh, Oh Lord.
Yo, my knees is like so intense.
I always find like by like right super close to joints is where I have the most knots, most adhesions. Yeah, now that I'm singling out the quads, each quad, some of those knots are appearing that I could not locate. Just using the power of my breath, guys. The best feeling ever.
Wow.
Sometimes you can literally feel them dissipate and it's so nice.
That was a huge release. That's like the biggest release I've had in a really long time. Wow.
Biggest relief.
Come on, man. That was a touching moment for me.
I gotta turn it into something else. Somehow every time we foam roll together, we find a way to make it sexual.
Everything's in one though, and you've got a long cylindrical thing between your legs.
Absolutely.
Just wait till we get the inner thigh.
That's when the jokes come.
Come?
Why is this leg so much worse?
I haven't even ventured into my other leg yet. Wow, what the hell? What's going on? Oh, Lord have mercy.
Alright. Alright. Well, that was some damage control there.
It's important to do this consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. Won't be as bad if you do it consistently. I'm going to move on to my calves.
I'm really impressed with how much I've managed to work out.
Yeah, she's really taking her time with this. I'm kind of...
Yeah, you're getting the job done. Like, walking people through it. I'm on a mission right now.
That's okay though. I mean,
It just
you
goes
might...
to show you that you might need to take a really long time just to get through one leg.
Yep.
And that's okay. You need to do what your body needs.
Ooh, so to get your calves, very simple. You just place your calf on the roller, and I am already finding spots.
You can intensify the chore by stacking from the leg.
Yes, yeah, so if you want, you can even go one ankle on top of the other, so then you got that extra pressure of your other leg on top, and oh.
We do like to start gently though, so work your way into it.
That's right. Never crank yourself into anything.
Especially not foam rolling. Morning.
Those quads though.
I'm still impressed at the time. I think I was telling you about this before. When I went to my massage therapist and she was doing cupping on me. And I told you she was on like a search and destroy mission with my quad. And when I looked in the mirror after the massage, I could see my muscle structure again. Instead of it being all tight and bunched up, I could see all my individual muscles. And it was crazy. Because it looked like a bodybuilder's muscle.
Yeah.
My quad, what happened was, most of the time my quads, they have like an even birth to them, and then after the massage, I could see like the chunks of each muscle. So like it was
Chunks.
It was like really interesting to see the change in your body, the visible change after a massage. Oh, what's a foam roll do for you?
Self-massage. I was saying before that, and this is in the blog for today as well. When you go to like a physical therapist or you get a deep tissue massage, the technique that they're doing is myofascial release. And so what that is you have fascia in the body, those are those adhesions or those knots, and they're using their hands to get them out, which is quite painful as well. But what you're doing here is foam rolling. Another name for it is self-myofascial release, because you're releasing the fascia in your body yourself by use of the foam roller. One time when I was on vacation, I had a massage, and she used a bamboo roller. So it was like a stick of bamboo, and she was using that as the foam roller on my body. Ooh, sometimes your upper body will hurt after you roll too, because you have to really use your upper body as support. Ooh. All right, here's where some sexual jokes are gonna happen, I'm sure. We're gonna get the inner thighs as well as the inner groin. Now, we often don't really think or take into account our inner groin muscles. And so this might feel a little awkward at first to do, but trust me, you'll probably locate some stuff. So you're gonna take the foam roller, you're kind of gonna do like a frog. So I have my left leg out for real this time. And I'm opening it out to like a 90-ish degree angle. And then I'm just gonna place that roller right into my inner thigh. So I'm getting those inner thigh muscles, which are the adductor muscles. And then I'm kind of starting to roll it closer in towards my groin. And I can definitely feel some tightness there. Woo.
When you're in, privacy of home.
Yes, I wouldn't recommend doing this in public, but here I am doing this for a video on YouTube, so there you go. If we can do this in front of you, you can do it in the privacy of your home. Ooh, ooh, oh man.
I'm not looking, I'm hearing.
You might make some sounds with this too. Some oohs and ahs.
One pass. It really is an arm workout. Depending on how slowly you're going.
Yeah, you might even feel that your upper body is sore by the time you're done.
So it might not be a rest day.
Active recovery. Sometimes, I have clients that make the moist, sorry if anyone's triggered by that word, make the most noise and groans during the stretch section of the workout at the end. They find that to be the most painful, especially my men clients.
Stretching is both a physical and emotional release though.
Especially the hippies.
Because again, when you keep so much tension in your body like that and you finally release that tension, it's palpable.
Yeah.
It's not like when you're stressed or when you're upset, your body language shows that. When you're stressed, you're tense. When you're upset, you collapse in on yourself. And then you physically open yourself up, also emotionally open yourself up. That's when we're doing yoga with us too. There's an emotional.
I was gonna say, it's actually quite common for people to start crying in my yoga classes. And it's exactly like Allie was saying, as a society, we're very closed off people, right? Actually, especially now in COVID times, we're more closed off than usual. We're closed off from our family members and loved ones and, sitting at home, yada, 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 more so than usual. So you take a yoga class and you just stretch and open up your body. It's such a powerful thing. So yeah, it definitely can open you up to emotions too. Heart openers and hip openers especially. Ooh, time for the other inner groin. Woo!
We're really getting into it here.
She is really working.
Because I feel like it's being very responsible today. You'll have tighter days oh my god, nothing's happening. Other days you'll roll over it and everything will release at once, and you're like,
And it just goes to show how it teaches you how to be more in tune with your body.
because as much as we want to, we can't physically get impossible to put in 100% every day.
And that's why recovery and rest days are part of your fitness journey, because if you never take a rest day, you're not going to give as much as you could in your training days, and that's going to hinder your progress. So if you want to see progress, you have to give your body the rest that it deserves and that it needs.
Otherwise, you're constantly going to be going at, you start at 100, you drop down to 90, 80, 70, and suddenly all your workouts are at 50%, you feel tired and you're frustrated and you don't know why. Because you need rest.
Burnout.
Burn out.
I definitely have fallen victim to that previously. Even my mindset now, I'm 6 years recovered from my eating disorder, but still the mental effects of it still to this day affect me a lot. And I have to literally fight those disordered thoughts of I can't take a rest day with logic, with what Allie's saying. Literally, if I want to train 100%, I need to keep my body 100%. And my body, it's fact, my body is not 100% every day. All right, I am moving on to my lats. So our lats, they're right here. And we are going to, I prefer to roll upper body using a lacrosse ball, but I didn't want to use too much equipment for this because I know in general some of us may not even have a foam roller. So I'm going to show you how to roll them with the foam roller, but just know anything upper body, I do prefer to use a lacrosse ball with. But I'm going to lean, I'm on my right side first. So lean onto my right side and just start to roll up and down.
I'm getting tired, so I'm going to switch over to the upper body before I get back down to the lower.
That's part of the reason why I was going fast. You know, I have a shoulder injury, so it's really, like, foam rolling is really challenging for me a lot of the times, which is why it's good that I go to physical therapy often, because it's just not sustainable for me to be able to foam roll every day, even though I would like to. Can pause in any spots that feel good, not necessarily that you feel a knot, but if it just feels good, you can.
Yeah, foam roll is not all painful.
I feel my upper body is usually like more pleasurable than my lower body.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch to my other side. Flat. Ah.
Talking about having a good time in your body.
Ooh.
I found something that's very sad for me.
An adhesion?
Right in my own shoulder.
Yeah, I get a lot of that in my shoulders.
Wiggle all the way down.
I also have very tight intercostal muscles. Yeah, so intercostal muscles are the muscles that help assist you in breathing. So those are like those rib cage muscles. Behind rib cage muscles.
Intercostal muscles run in like a basket pattern too, like they crisscross over each other. It's like a pie.
As well as the intercostal muscles very close, the paraspinal muscles that are down the spine, those are a mess on me. Part of the reason is posture, actually. I preach good posture, but listen, we all have our faults, we all have our days. I'm not always 100% with my posture. I try and...
Your mood dictates your body language. So if we're having a terrible day, walking around like you're on top of the world with good posture.
Correct.
You're really getting in there.
Yeah.
I'm just laying here like nothing's happening and I'm in serious pain.
Swimmer muscles. All right, you guys, so if you are still foam rolling, feel free to click the pause button, continue. If you are ready like us, because we're 30 minutes into this foam rolling, which is good, that's awesome. We're gonna come and go into our stretch routine now. So hang out with us. Let's get into our stretching, and I'm going to begin by standing up at the top of the mat. And I'm just gonna kind of take a little freestyle moment here, and I encourage you to do the same. So I like to start by loosening out my low back. And then I'm just gonna do some windmills with my arms. So I'm getting into the shoulders a little bit. And this I like to kind of start my workout with as well. And then just windmilling back. And now I'm just gonna get into the chest a little bit. I'm gonna take my hands out in front of me and I'm just gonna open and close. So getting into those pec muscles. And again, you can always freestyle. There's no right or wrong here. It's whatever you feel you need to open and loosen. Now getting into the biceps a little bit, crossing one arm over your body and then hooking on with the other. If you're super tight, you can take your hand closer to the wrist, or I'm sorry, closer in up towards your shoulder. More intense would be closer to the wrist.
I know I have to keep it in tight. For some reason, this direction, my shoulders are really tight. I feel it in my delts.
Yeah, this is also for the delts. And switch to the other side. Now for this side, I do have to keep it up because this is my injured shoulder. So I really baby this side. Now I'm gonna get into the triceps and the lats a little bit by inhaling the arms up, taking my right hand right in between my shoulder blades, and then grabbing hold of my right elbow with my left hand, and then gently side bending to the right side, left side. And just bringing my gaze up towards the right side of the room. That feels good.
Again.
Yeah, if you can, you can try to reach to grab the fingers. I don't have the space for that. And then let's take that to the other side. So taking left hand between the shoulder blades, grabbing hold of the left elbow with the right hand, and side bending to the right side. And bringing your gaze up towards the right side of the room. Sorry, left side of the room. My lefts and rights today, my goodness.
I think it's important to keep your core engaged too.
Yeah. Yeah. Pushing those hips forward. Good, and then slowly release. Start to shake it out. All right, let's clasp the hands behind the back and draw your knuckles down. Lift your chest up again, stretching the front of the shoulders and the chest. You can even lift your gaze up, and then on your exhale, take a nice bend in the knees and try to reach your chest as close down towards your thighs as you can, as you really try to lift the knuckles up, and try to kiss the palms of the hands together as you're lifting those knuckles up. Just letting the head hang nice and heavy, and then keep yourself hanging nice and heavy as you relax the knuckles back down onto your low back, and then just drop the hands down right in front of your feet. Nice forward fold. You can take any movements that feel good here. So I like to pedal out my heels a little bit. So I'll stretch one heel up and then plant my other heel down. Now we're going to start to get into the hips a little bit. So we're going to start by stepping our right foot back behind us. And your left foot's gonna stay in the left corner of the mat. And I'm just gonna rock a little bit forwards and back on my toes. Just breathing into it. And then dropping my back knee down. And then I'm gonna start to open out my foot. So kind of opening out the sole of the foot like a hook. And then I'm just gonna try to lean my hips down even more towards the ground. And then maybe get my forearms down onto the ground. Breathe into. Nice lizard pose, really, really good for the hips. Use your exhales to try to get a little bit deeper. If you want, while you're down here on the forearms, you can tuck the back toes under and lift the knee back up and rock a little bit forwards and back on the toes again. And then drop the back knee down. Now, just an option here if you want to get deeper into the quads. You do not have to do this. It's not going to be for everybody. But you can bend your right heel in towards your tush and reach back with the left arm and perhaps grab the foot and try to draw the heel closer in towards your glutes. Breathe into it. It's nice too because you're getting some thoracic rotation mobility here as well with that twist. And then slowly release it all the way down. And we're going to heel toe that left foot now out towards the right wrist to open out into a pigeon pose. Getting even more into the hips. Oh, it's so juicy and good. Let's walk the hands all the way out. Now, what I want you to try to do rather than just dropping the chest down is try to get the belly button down first and then get the chest down. So that's going to get more into the hips. We call it a resting pigeon when you're down on the ground, but it might not particularly be a resting comfortable position for you. That's okay. You just want to breathe in softness. Pressing back into the palms of the hands. Tucking your back toes under. And then coming to place that right foot back in between your hands. And then just drop your back knee down and straighten your front leg to come into a hamstring stretch. I was like, ooh, is Ali feeling a vinyasa?
Almost.
So you want to bring the heel down, flex the toes, and the further out you can walk your hands, the more you're going to feel the stretch. You want to square off your hips, so try not to lean your hips too much to the right. And then we're going to bend into the front knee and get into some more thoracic mobility here. Keep your right hand down onto the ground and take your left hand behind your head. Inhale, spiral the chest all the way open towards the left side of the room. And then exhale, drop the elbow back down, drop your chest down towards the ground. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Last time. Take your left hand back down, tuck the back toes under, step your back foot up to meet your front. Coming back into that forward fold. Take a few breaths here. And let's do all of those stretches on the other side. So walk your right foot to the right corner of the mat. And we're going to step our left foot all the way back. And just take a moment here, rock a little bit forwards and back. Feel out how the hips are doing on this side. Might be a totally different story than the other side. And then when you're ready, dropping the knee down, and you can open out the sole of the foot like a book. And then see if you can start to kind of walk the hands forwards, maybe dropping the forearms down. And breathe into it. Every time you breathe, try to get a little bit deeper and creating softness in the body. I love, love, love lizard pose. So, so good. Hip help. I'll try that quad stretch on the other side, no pressure. Remember, each side is different, so if you did or didn't get it on the other side, it might be a different story here. Bending your left heel in towards your tush, reaching back with the right, and maybe trying to draw that heel closer in towards the glutes. Sometimes it can be rather intense. Slowly releasing the foot all the way down.
I keep opening my shoulders to release.
Yeah. And let's walk the right foot towards the left wrist to come into our pigeon pose.
There's always something to work on, no matter what your fitness level.
And you might start to deviate from what we're doing because your body's feeling a certain way. That's okay. Listen to what your body wants. Walk your hands out, again, trying to get the belly button down first before the chest. And maybe as you exhale, you're able to deepen and soften into the stretch a little bit more. Perhaps, perhaps, perhaps. Rested pigeon. Sometimes it won't feel very restful. For me, especially on this side, it's more of an active stretch. Let's press into the palms of the hands. Nice and gently, we're gonna come to take the right foot back into the center of your hands, however you need to, and straighten that front leg to come into a hamstring stretch. So working on the back of the leg. Where you walk your hands out, deeper you're gonna feel the stretch, and try to remember to kind of square the hips out, so I kind of wiggle jiggle my way into it. And then getting into that thoracic mobility, we bend into the right knee and keep your left hand down. And take your right hand behind your head. Inhale to open the chest up. Exhale, bring it down. So working on that thoracic spine, which is the mid-spine, underneath the neck, before the low back. Last one. Plant the hands down. Now tuck the toes under. We're going to send it back to a downward facing dog. Oh man. Such a beautiful downward dog after all that. Hell it out, feel it out again. No right, wrong here. From this downward facing dog, we'll carefully drop our knees down. We're going to come into a puppy pose. This is going to again get into the T-spine and the shoulders. Hips are stacked right above the knees, so your booty is staying up, and you're going to start to walk the hands out, and then try to drop the forearms down. Drop your forehead, maybe your chest down to the ground. Keeping those arms like two railroad tracks. Same thing with the knees and the feet. This is one of my all-time favorite yoga poses. Super, super deep relief here. And on your next exhale, we're going to bring it all the way forwards into a Sphinx. If you want want to deepen this, you can press into the palms of the hands like you're trying to rip the mat in half and lift up into a seal pose. So seal is different than cobra because in cobra your hands are right by your rib cage and you're lifting up, but with seal your hands are out of you. You lift up. And you really want to make sure that you're pressing the pelvis into the ground so you're not destroying your low back in this pose. And then on your exhale, the chest back down. Now slide your hands back in towards the rib cage, lift the chest up, and send it back to a wide knee child's pose. And just start to deepen your breath. Feel free to continue stretching on the mat if it feels good. I have to say, I feel fan-freaking-tastic right now after all that stretching. I hope you guys do too, and I hope that you choose to implement some of these exercises that we did today into your self-care routine, which if you don't have one, hopefully today also inspired you to make one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you again for sticking with us. This is the halfway mark, and we're so excited to continue this journey with you. Namaste.